But let's move on and talk about the defense sector. In fact, there is quite a bit of action expected there in this particular budget, and FDI in defense might be hiked. So there is an expectation that more money will come in as well into this particular space. We have three guests who join us. Nitin Seth, Executive Director of Ashok Leyland Defense Systems, SP Shukla, the Chairman of Mahindra Defense, and Dubey of KPMG joins us now to talk about that. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Nitin, I'm going to start off with you first. What is the expectation as far as the cap in FDI and how much it could be raised to? What do you think would be the reasonable assumption this time around?
I think what my expectation is from 26%, while there is and I said it should go to minimum 51% if you're looking for a transfer to India as well as the foreign companies pouring money into India. Below 51% they may be reluctant because they may not like to hand over the technology to an Indian company. So I'm expecting it will go anything upward of 51%.
Okay. Mr. Shukla, what is your view on the same? Because many experts have indicated to us that 51% also may not be enough. It has to go to 74% for some meaningful investments to come in. I mean, when the cap was at 49%, we literally got, just about $5 billion of investments over the last so many years. Do you think if this cap is raised, a good amount of investments will come into the sector?
I think we need to look at it in a comprehensive way. You know, India is the fourth largest army in the world, fifth largest air force in the world, and sixth largest navy in the world, with the eighth largest defense budget in the world. Against this, to be the largest importer of defense equipment is an anomaly. So it goes without saying that we need to get our defense production strategy in the country right. FDI is only one component of the strategy. It actually stands on four legs. One is licensing, on which some action took place last week. FDI is second. Defense procurement policy is third. And fourth is what will be our export strategy in connection with the diplomatic policy. Because defense supplies form a crucial part of export strategy of any sector. You see the heads of state, the finance and industry ministers promoting the interest of their defense industry when they go on foreign visits. Only when you see these four legs together on which the defense production strategy will stand, then one can take a view on FDI, which is one component. Government can have more than one objective while formulating strategy for any sector. In defense, one objective can be that by producing locally, one, we will reduce the current account deficit. Second, we will also reduce the cost of procurement. And third, we will promote Indian industry. So this can be one objective. Second objective can be non-financial. In immediate short term, though in the long term financial benefits always accrue, that we will promote Indian industry in particular to develop defense capabilities, and that will allow us to reduce dependence. Some people will call it strategic independence, so that in times of emergencies, you are actually not beholden to anyone. Now, both are genuine objectives, and government has to work keeping these two objectives in mind, tweak all four parameters, which include the defense procurement policy, which has components like offset, which has components like export obligations. So there are many other components which can be weaved in so as to make our defense sector vibrant. After all, in next 15 years, various estimates talk about $300 to $500 billion likely to be spent on defense in next 15 years. With that kind of money being spent on the sector, there will be different pockets in this large sector where you will have to have different fine-tuning. Within this sector, there will be sub-sectors. There will be large, medium, and small scale. And you will need to fine-tune your strategy to suit different segments of the sector instead of making a blanket statement.
Okay, Amber Dubey of KPMG is also with us. Amber, hi, good morning. Have you done any number crunching on what kind of opportunity could be there in FDI in defense?
Yeah, absolutely, Anuj. But in line with the mood today, आप सबको इसरो की इस महान सफलता के लिए बधाइयाँ. Coming back to FDI, I guess let's just take a step backwards and decide what exactly are we looking at. If our dream is to become a global power by say 2020, we not only need a strong economy but also a strong military. And I guess Nitin and Mr. Shukla have already highlighted most of the key issues related to defense procurement. It's got multiple aspects to it, of which, of course, FDI is a key number. We're looking at anywhere from $200 to $300 billion over the next 10 to 15 years because, Anuj, unfortunately, almost 50%, now estimates vary, but almost 50% of defense equipment today is obsolete. And this is vis-a-vis the current. The future is going to be very different. And if you look at China, gradually they have actually reduced the infantry by almost 1.7 million personnel over the last 10 to 15 years, and they're focusing more on modern warfare, which is going to be all cyber, space, nuclear, biological, chemical, unconventional kind of warfare. And if that is going to be the strategic shift, much more needs to be done. Anuj?
Okay. Mr. Shukla, for Mahindra Defence itself, what is the quantum of projects that Mahindra Defence is currently the L1 bidder for, and what could the opportunity look like going ahead?
We are perhaps the only group which is present in all the three branches of defense, that is Army, Air Force and Navy. In Army, we are serious contenders in various Make India or Buy India projects, which includes FICV, LAM. Several such projects are in the offing. In naval defense, we have been working on underwater systems, primarily with that being the focus, where we have been working on torpedo systems, missile launchers, and as far as air defense is concerned, we have strong presence in radars, actually, and surveillance systems. Home security is another area which our fourth company has been focusing on. We are perhaps one of the longest enduring relationship with defense for several decades now. So infrastructure has been built over a period of time. Projects which are coming up are large projects. We believe the total quantum of the projects where we will be bidding will exceed 1 lakh crores.
Okay, so 1 lakh crores of projects is the kind of projects that you will be bidding for. Nitin, comment on that. What about for Ashok Leyland itself? You have signed, a JV with L&T where you have a couple of projects on board. But totally, what is the quantum of projects that Ashok Leyland Defence is the L1 bidder for, and what could come through in the due course?
Yeah, just to take you through, I think Ashok Leyland is the biggest supplier for vehicles to the Indian Army, the Stallion. Now we are mainly concentrating ourselves on the vehicles and its derivatives. If you're aware that we are now bidding with Nextel and L&T for the $2 billion mounted gun system platform, we are in touch and tied up with Saab for the short-range surface-to-air missile program. We're in touch with MBDA as well as Selex. So, but all these are limited to because of the 30% offset clause, where they are looking for an Indian partner to help them get 30% offset. Now, and also there are 4 other programs where we are bidding, which is the 8x8 and 6x6 for Indian Army. What it brings on table is that if you have, for example, FDI, some of these people look at Indian companies only for their offset. But if you have an FDI and an Indian partnership, it will kind of become in a Make India program where the investment and the sourcing also happens from India for major part of the program. And there, Ashok Leyland, with its roots in India and the relationship with the Indian Army, can play a very major role, at least in the Army side where we are strong at. So we are very bullish with the kind of programs. Yes, there are delays in granting L1 status because of the trials, but they have been very fair. And you are aware we have been L1 declared with L&T for multi-barrel rocket launcher, but there are 4 more programs. We are awaiting the L1 to be declared. So we are quite bullish on the land systems and the vehicle-based program with a lot of foreign players.
Amber, I'm just going to try and squeeze in one last question to you. Have you, in your interactions with companies, gotten a sense of any global defense companies that are actually interested in putting money into India?
Sonia, there's a whole host of people waiting with their briefcases to come in. I guess if we can just get our FDI policy in place and the other things which Mr. Shukla spoke about, I guess there's a lot of investment waiting to come in. We have to avoid this, fall into this trap of this tiered, multi-tier FDI slabs of 49, 74, 100. KPMG's view is that it should just be one single slab of 74, and bringing in subjective concepts like transfer technology and SOAT, as we call it, state-of-the-art technology. These are all subjective concepts. They're open to misuse and interpretation. And I guess if you can just have one single slab of 74%, the floodgates will open. Sonia?
All right, guys. We hope those floodgates open very soon, but we've run out of time. Thank you, all three of you, for joining us and throwing more light on this subject. So FDI in defense could be a big opportunity in the times to come if the cap is raised.